So from World Bank's perspective, how is Thailand coping with the global shocks while trying to stay resilient, especially in light of the tensions in the Middle East?
So Thailand is in a difficult position. We have one of the highest exposures to the Middle East conflict because of the oil imports, which is the largest in ASEAN region. Second is tourism. We have a very large tourism sector, around 13% of GDP. So that's also affected by the Middle East conflict. And thirdly, it's the manufactured exports, which is affected by global demand. So there are these three channels of the impact have resulted us in revising the forecast for Thailand's growth for this year down to 1.3%, which is low for the region, and then recovering to 2.2 next year.
Thailand relies heavily on imported energy as well as tourism. So what worries you the most about the country's economic outlook right now?
Because we import a lot of oil, a lot of sectors use oil for their inputs and production, intermediate. And also we have households who use it for transport. So on the sector side, logistics are heavily affected. Domestic logistics, also air transport, manufactured products that use petroleum, and these are quite exposed. Households, because of the household debt burden that they're already carrying, that's around 87% of GDP, the highest in ASEAN. So we looked at which households are exposed. So it's a combination of debt and expenditure on oil and gas. So it turns out to be the middle class because they spend quite a lot on their own transport costs. And then to a lesser degree also the poor, rising fuel, rising food prices.
Are there any other industries that are expected to see more growth in Thailand?
So we think there are many, and we have selected 5 using one is a global criteria. We look at sectors where demand is growing globally. And then the second criteria is we looking at Thailand. Does Thailand have some of the infrastructure or the skills and endowments needed to grow that sector? Right? So taking those lens, we are now producing, it's a flagship report for Thailand ahead of the annual meetings in October, where we identify these 5 sectors. So one is on agribusiness, second is on advanced manufacturing, which includes green manufacturing, such as EVs, solar, air conditioning. Third is on tourism, particularly sustainable wellness and health tourism. And then on creative economy, where Thailand's already making progress in many areas. So, and the last one is digital. Digital refers to both digital technologies that can be used by people and companies and as an enabler for other sectors, including tourism and manufacturing.
And with the higher energy costs and also the external pressures, does Thailand still have enough policy room to deliver?
So Thailand, we still see Thailand as having adequate fiscal and monetary room. So monetary, because inflation expectations are anchored, there's still room for the central bank to act using the interest rate tool. On fiscal, this is more difficult. So before COVID, Thailand had public debt was 40% of GDP, which was quite low. Right? After COVID, fast forward to today, it's around 66% of GDP, very close to the debt ceiling of 70%. But if you invest wisely on targeted measures, targeted spending, infrastructure that has productivity returns, you can actually raise growth, right? And that would result in public debt to GDP coming down. So we'll go up, like you're walking up a hill, and it will come down. So for us, the trajectory, the slope, is more important rather than just the level. So if you lay out clear vision today in terms of what you're doing today, tomorrow, 5 years, what will happen to GDP, public debt, productivity, you can actually arrive at a trajectory that is sustainable in terms of debt and growth.